Hey, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to give you a quick bow to stern review of my current setup for saltwater fishing here in SoCal. Specifically, I'm in Dana Point, if you're curious. So I'm targeting things like, you know, our three main bass species, you know, calicos, spotties. We're talking barred sand bass, you know, white sea bass as well. We target halibut, rockfish, sheephead, all kinds of stuff, right? Sharks. We can really kind of get a lot out here. So this is going to cover kind of how I have my boat set up and why I have it set up the way I do. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, but this is just sort of how I've settled into my boat and put things into spots that make sense for me. So let's start at the front here. We got the MotorGuide XI-3 saltwater kayak trolling motor. It's a 36-inch shaft. You can see it's shorter than the boat version, and they made this one specifically for kayaks. Pretty cool. This one has the GPS, so it connects to my Lowrance unit. You can actually see it's connected right there, and it goes all the way through my boat over here through a through hole, and I connect it to the back of my unit there. I'll go over that in a little bit, but yeah, got the motor in the front. We are running the OneObjective, or is it Objective 1? I'm not sure. It's one of those. Bow mount for the Hobie Pro Angler, and this is to mount the MotorGuide, and then we're using the quick release guide from MotorGuide right on top of that, so we can quickly remove it using this little bracket here and just pop it off so I can throw it in my car. Easy peasy. At the front here, I always put my net folded up in the front here. This is the YakAttack foldable leverage net. You can see it goes under your arm here, and you can easily pick up a pretty big fish with only one arm, which is really nice. Super handy net. I've landed some pretty good fish using this thing. It easily folds up just like that, and I just plop it right back in the front here. But since we already have it off, let's open up the hatch. Okay, so you can see horribly right now, I just have this battery sitting in here. Ideally, I'm going to move it to the back, in the very back of the boat there, to the stern. It's going to even out the weight a little bit more, but for now, I'm just throwing it in the front here. And I'm just directly connecting the trolling motor to this 100 amp hour, 12 volt lithium ion battery, and I just have it inside a battery box here. You can see there are two more batteries in here. I have a 17.5 amp hour battery from FPV Power. And that one's exclusively powering my fish finder. And then we have that battery on the other side, same company, FPV Power. It's a 7 amp hour, and that's currently running the NMEA 2000 network, which allows the Lowrance unit to talk to our trolling motor. And that actually requires a very, very, very small amount of power. I think it's like 0.2 amps or something. So the reason I actually got a new battery and didn't hook it into one of my existing sources, I want to run lights and USB and stuff like that off its own battery. So I started that system up here. Currently just running the NEMEA network, but eventually I'll add USB power to it and probably my lights. Yeah, but that's all running through the boat here. All you really need to set this up, if you have a Lowrance unit and an XI-3 or maybe a Garmin XI-3, something like that, all you need is an NMEA 2000 network starter kit, and then you're going to want the kit that comes from your fish finder. And I think there's only 3 different companies that work with this setup. I think it's Garmin, Lowrance. I'm not sure about the other one, but for example, I looked up Lowrance, and they have a starter kit for hooking up to Pinpoint GPS and basically hooking up to MotorGuide motors. That gives you one extra cable and a T connector, and that gives you what you need to run the NEMEA network. And I just have it taped basically on the underside of my boat here in the middle. It's kind of hiding back there, like I said, and the wires are running through right there, like I said earlier. But that all stays secure, nice and easy. And then I'm also running currently my USB power out of this battery box into my GoPro. Here's the cord, it's unplugged right now. This is our GoPro mount here. So we have a GoPro mount here, and we have another YakAttack Omega rod holder here. These are both YakAttack products. The thing that's holding the GoPro right now is actually YakAttack. I think it's called the Panfish. Small little, it's a small little stand for the GoPro. It has multiple hinges and joints. Pretty flexible. You can move it around, but it doesn't wobble too much, which I like. Some of the taller ones I've noticed kind of wobble a little bit too much and make the footage a little unstable. We have our fish finder here and chart plotter, the Elite FS9 from Lowrance. Love this thing, fantastic. These are little grippers that I use on kelp sometimes. I don't really use them too often anymore. I actually hook up the dock with this usually and just tie my knot here. These are, obviously this is the 360 drive, our main propulsion. I have a little Amazon stickable ruler on the side of my H-rail here. We got the Hobie cup. And I have 2 of these Railblaza rod holders right here, one on each side for trolling, as you can see. And this one that I mentioned up front, I usually stick a rod up in here if I'm working on it or if I have a fish. It's kind of like the rod for when you want to just put the rod down and work with your hands. We are using a kayak cushion, which everyone seems to love. I think they're actually sold out right now. People really love these things, but I don't have one for the back. I would like to get one someday. Currently just running the front. We have the drop-in bin. One of the first mods that most people do, or one of the first accessories that people buy, is the bin to replace the default tackle boxes that come in there. Definitely love that storage in there. Heading towards the back, we have the YakAttack Black Pro. Is it the black pack? It's a black pack crate. This is the biggest one they make. I think it's 16 by 16. Has nice rod holders on the back. This is one of my favorite accessories on the kayak. Has tons of storage, super awesome. You can actually attach more stuff to it. You can drill into it. You can do whatever you want. This is my current board that I'm using. This is from Yak Gear. As you can see, it's got blood all over it, but nice little fold-out board, very sturdy. You can highlight the numbers that you use most often. You can see I have them marked out in Sharpie, 14, 22, stuff like that. Folds up super easy. I just reach behind me and grab it when I'm in the seat, measure my fish, throw it back. All right, for our gaff, we got a tails up gaff here. Just put a tennis ball on the end. Just keep it in my rod holder in the very back here. And then we got the YakAttack flag here also. This guy is very handy. Got a really nice bright light. Helps with your visibility so you don't get ran over out there. And then one of my other favorite things is this H-reel tackle box from Hobie. This thing's super cool. You can put some stuff on the top and pop out the lid, and there's a bunch more stuff inside there. The only thing that I'm missing right now is I got some seat protector plates from OneObjective, which will distribute the weight a bit better on these front mounts here. The seat tends to crack around this area where all this weight's being pushed down, so the plates will help distribute that. Then I'm also getting replacement. I'm gonna end up covering up these rod holders basically. I don't use them. I've broken multiple rods in them. I don't really use them, and now that I have the crate back here, I'm not really bringing that many rods, so I'm gonna end up removing the rod tube holders and replacing them with a couple of plates that I bought, which will just basically prevent water from getting in here, which is the biggest problem. It just ends up in the front of the boat, especially when you wash it, or if you're taking on extra water when you add a motor. One more note: if you guys add a motor, you're definitely going to want to get some scupper plugs. These are going to prevent a lot of the water coming up. You can just grab these on Amazon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the boat.